Hello, welcome to Coming Home Tarot. My name is Celine. So, the message that came through in the pre-shuffle was that you may be feeling very isolated right now. I pulled 4 cards here. We have the owl, the gnome, the angel, and the artist. And these are all very strong characters, okay? And normally you put these together to make it one image, but all these are main characters, you know. They take up most of the card by themselves. So, with the artist card here, you know, it just talks about how people who have that artistic archetype have a desire to create, and it's because their soul is so unique. Okay, their personality, how they show up in the world. And the downside of this is that it can lead to you feeling very misunderstood. And the way to heal that is to create whatever you feel the desire to create. That will help you channel that energy. So we also got the owl, which is also another very solitary creature. A lot of the other animals in the forest don't like the owls. They are alone most of the time, but the good side of that is there comes a lot of wisdom with that, because people who have, you know, owl personalities, they're very detached and observant, right? You don't get caught up in the normal human dramas, you know, little petty things. But this also can lead to you feeling very isolated. So with this increasing wisdom comes more detachment from society. We also got the gnomes here, and a strong message that came out with them is if they see that your soul and heart is pure, you know, they love working with humans, the energy of the gnome, because they are very protective. And when they see their people, you know, that they do work with energetically, being wronged, you know, they can get very fired up and be very protective. So there are gnomes, you know, and fairies and these energies in these higher realms that do want to protect you and put that cloak of healing around you. The gnome card here also indicates a retreat from daily life and complete immersion into the realm of nature. So another issue that can come up is like in winter when you can't get out in nature as much, you know, you feel even more detached from the world that you're born into. And so this reading is kind of just like an acknowledgement that spirit, your spirit guides, God sees and feels all this with you, and they can see that you're feeling very isolated and detached. And if you are in the season of winter, you can get the seasonal blues too, because maybe nature is the only place that you feel a part of something, you know, where you feel peace and you feel like you belong. You know, it's just where you feel natural, right? And the other card that came out was the angel card here. And this card coming out with these other ones, it's letting you know that you're being set apart for a reason. And the angel card is all about, you know, God protecting you and setting you apart from the crowd, because yes, there is a higher purpose. There is something that your unique soul needs to bring to this world. So Spirit doesn't want you to feel like, you know, this is a punishment or a bad thing. It's actually a beautiful thing. And it's because God wants to create a closer relationship with you. And there are bigger things that you're here to realize, you know, and there's some golden wisdom for you to gain from this. And if you're just out getting distracted by all the small human things, you know, you would miss out on these greater epiphanies. So Spirit doesn't want you to get caught up in the loneliness right now. And, you know, if you're drawn to this channel, you know that there's a God, and you've found a personal relationship with this energy. So the only way to get to that point is through isolation, and that's just part of the journey. See, These are all, like, you're such a strong personality, you don't mix well with a lot of people. Just like these cards, usually they make a pretty image, but if you see this, it's just, there's just so much to you, right? So don't see this as a bad thing. It's the main message. And I know that can be hard, you know, a hard thing to hear when you're just alone a lot. But in that, I want you to know, like, people like me, and there's tons of other people going through this awakening process, this ascension journey, and we all have had to go through this isolation, people that actually truly are on this path. You know, there are a lot of posers and actors, you know, in this day, but I just want to get this reading out to let you know that you're not alone in the isolation, and Spirit sees. And when you do feel lonely, call out to your spirit guides to cloak you in comfort and warmth and peace, and meditate, you know, and seek God, and you will find that comfort that you can't find from people. But it all is for a reason. Okay, we are building God's kingdom. You are one cell within, you know, the Christ body. And we are trying to create a new earth here, you know, with more peace and honesty and truth. And to get there, you know, people like us do have to be set apart so that we can create new energies on earth rather than just creating more clones, you know. So forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Okay, so for this card to come out, you must be hard on yourself, maybe wondering what's wrong with you, why, you know, other people don't like you, and it's nothing to do with you. The more you become filled with, you know, God consciousness, and the more you ascend, the more your light is going to trigger other people's demons. And Spirit doesn't want you to take anything personal, okay? That's a reflection of them and not you. Oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? Yeah, so as you're being misunderstood, you know, other people are feeling misunderstood. So we're just trying to come back to love, you know, and just understanding that we are all unique, right? And I found tarot to be, you know, very healing for me, and finding these videos of other people that are on this journey, you know, you can remember that there are other people like you out there, you know, that are on this process. The hungry ghosts. Obsession, scarcity, consciousness, and attachment. Okay. I want to get one more to clarify that. Resting tree, patience, and stillness. Yeah, Spirit doesn't want you to get caught up in this loneliness. It's just for a period of time. Okay, so that you can heal and cleanse out anything that isn't yours. And Spirit doesn't want you to get into this scarcity consciousness, because I'm getting that this loneliness may be triggering this lack, like it's making you feel like you're lacking something. But this is just temporary, okay? And after you come out of this healing, you will find souls that are like you, okay? It's a process to come back to yourself. And, excuse me. And this world has brainwashed us so much, you know, oh my goodness, that sometimes it does take a lot of time being alone to get back to our true selves. And we have easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. Yeah, so you got two things about patience, stillness, and resting. So Spirit wants you to see this time as a blessing to just rest and heal, okay? And not have to worry about so many other people or things around you, right? And we have the arts. Express yourself through creative activities. Yeah. So part of the thing, like if you notice, a lot of the great and most intelligent people, they do spend a lot of time alone because they have something to create, right? You become so filled up with the light, you've done so much work on yourself that now it needs to be expressed outside of you. And we do need time alone for that to be able to manifest. So see this as more of a process rather than taking it personally, right? And another way to look at it is like, if you think of yourself maybe 5 years ago, your past self wouldn't even understand who you are now and all the things that you've went through. So if we can hold that love for people who don't understand us, right, that we wouldn't even understand, and we may not ourselves now, maybe we won't understand ourselves in 5 years because of the growth. So just be at peace with this and allow it to be a time to settle into yourself. Because, relationships can be very exhausting, especially when you're a highly sensitive person and you're an empath. Relationships can be very taxing. Because a lot of people are operating on very low energies, and it's not for us to judge them, but it just is what it is. And so that is why God wants you to understand these things on, see the bigger picture. And we have Sophia. What I remember about her is like, if you see in this picture, she is crying because this angel, she's actually in the Bible, and the only thing I remember about this card is that she's crying because humanity isn't listening to her wisdom. They don't understand. And the owl came up, the artist. So you're a very wise soul, and just understand that even angels that are more ascended, like have ascended higher than us, they still feel that detachment. So your angels can relate to you, right? Think of angels and how much they have to watch humans and even us when we fall back into ignorance, or in old ways or habits or toxic relationships, and this angel just wants you to know that she feels that level of detachment that you do too, okay? And these angels want to hold you through this time. Because we have to remember that there are all these energies outside of this earth realm. There's so much more beyond just this human life. And Spirit wants you to really see that big picture. And you are working towards like God's kingdom. I'm not religious, but there's a lot of truth in that. So there's a lot unseen that you're growing, okay? And then we have Azrael. And yeah, you can see this is a pretty dark card, so you may be going through the dark night of your soul or just coming out of it. And I want to read from the book for this card because I don't remember. Transitions. So, known as the angel of death, Azrael isn't as all scary as his name suggests. In fact, he is perhaps the kindest and gentlest of all the archangels. So that may be another thing, like, along with the owl, like, you might get misread a lot. And people could take a first look at you and be intimidated and not understand